Okay, here's the millennial generation. Let's see Specimen's hands once again so we can talk about him. Over here, some hand. All right, there he is. There he is. Well, you know. And this is just a perfect metaphor for Specimen and his buddies. What has he done to earn the applause? Nothing. He just showed up and people are clapping for him.
Have you ever wondered why you can't get all these new people around the office to play by the old rules? The rules that got you where you stand today? Are you curious why selling your products or services to these younger generations is much harder than selling to your own peers? Not only is Cam Marston a member of this Peter Pan generation, the ones who don't seem to want to grow up, he studied them in depth and volunteered to be your guide to a better connected workforce.
Businesses must acknowledge trends. If you ignore trends, they'll pass you by and you'll think, gosh, what just happened? Things just changed and all of a sudden we're behind. This is the typical workplace that will contrast it to your workplace. Fewer matures than typical, far few baby boomers, about the right Xers, but this is the number there. That is the profile of a high school. Administration, teachers, students. It's amazing when you think about it that way. This is a very atypical workplace. I've never seen anything like it. I really haven't. I've never seen anything like it. So, are you unique? Yes. Is this information on generational differences pertinent? I would hope so. I would hope so. You look at the people who are out there looking at the customers. The people that are out there looking at your customers, they're in that millennial generation. The majority of the customers, I'm betting, are boomers and Xers and matures right now. So we have a remarkable generational shift in this workplace, in this company, more than any I've ever seen. It's really very unique.
Cam understands that every generation in the workforce today can learn something from the generations around it. And he has the research and experience to give you the insight into making multi-generational communications really tick. His book, Motivating the What's in It for Me workforce, takes a new tack on getting the younger generations to perform their best without giving up anything that makes the older generations unique and effective. Cam Marston, 4 generations, 1 business. Unlocking the power of generational insight.
For the first time in the history of mankind that we are aware of, we have 4 generations in the workplace. The human as an animal, as a species, has doubled its lifespan in the past 100 years. We're living longer than we ever thought we would. And as a result, these 4 generations are under the roof in the workplace for the first time. So these lifespans are a big part of creating generational change. The second biggest part are parenting trends, which we talked about in the introduction just briefly. There's a generation out there in this room here of baby boomers that was probably raised to be seen and not heard. There's a generation out there of baby boomers whose parents would look at them and say in a very sarcastic tone, what, are you special? Are you unique? Are you unique? Are you different from anyone else? Those same baby boomers today are looking at their children, the millennial generation, a large part of your workforce, and saying to those children, you are special, you are unique, you are different from everyone else. It's creating the way an individual is raised. It's creating a different value system in each of these generations. And these different value systems need to be appeased in the workplace in different ways. When you think about this millennial generation, born since 1980, and in some cases Generation X, these are people that have never in their lifetime needed to physically touch their television ever, for any reason. It's been controlled their entire lifetime through the remote control. Now, there are members in this audience here, myself even, that remember having to touch the television to change the channel, that remember spinning the knob too fast and having it break off in your hand, that remember having to go to the garage and come back with vice grips and hang the vice grips from the little peg in order to change the channel after that. This is a world we remember. There are people in this room that remember the days where the television had to warm up. So when you look at the advances in technology, the changes in technology each of these different generations have seen, they have made each other very unique and distinct from one another. Our focus today is going to be understanding their backgrounds, where to find them, how to recruit them, and how to keep them. And I'm going to share some things that I have learned from some of the nation's biggest businesses, some of the nation's biggest industries, as well as my own research on what is working out there. My goal for you is simply this. I want to give you some techniques and some skills that will help you become a better recruiter and keep your people longer. That's the bottom line. And once you see these generations through a different lens, I'm confident you'll be able to do that.